Hello and welcome to week 2 of Championship score predictions with me and Sam Parkin. Bit poor first week, Sam.
Yeah, I think that's just the unpredictability of the opening day. I referenced a few freak results in yesteryear on last week's podcast or prediction show, and that's how it played out. I think it was tough to call, and I'll take my marginal gain at this early stage of the season. Thank you, mate.
I bet you will. Let's dive in for this week. Remember the scorelines. If you get the right outcome, give yourself a point. If you get the scoreline correct, and me and Mr. Parkin didn't manage to get any between the two of us last week, you can get 3 points. If your scoreline contains 5 or more goals and you get it correct, you can give yourself a bonus point. You can get 4 points. Sam, as ever, you are up first. Coventry City versus Oxford.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with the thought process that Coventry cannot be that bad again. And all of a sudden, it becomes quite a big game for them early part of the season against the team they'd be expected to beat, given their last couple of seasons. So therefore, despite Oxford's brilliant win, I think they will. I think it'll be Oxford understanding how difficult it is to produce week after week and get points. Coventry City 1, Oxford United 0.
It's exactly what I was going to go for, Sam, for God's sakes. So I think it will be a narrow one. I think I agree with your logic totally that it gets a bit real, doesn't it? Coventry away and Norwich were a bit at 6s and 7s. So I'm either going to go 2-0 or 2-1. I think I'll go 2-0, being you've taken the 1-0. So I'll go Coventry 2, Oxford United 0. And I'm going to move us on to Derby versus Middlesbrough. A bit worrying for Derby, the opening game, Sam. Shipped 4 goals. Bit light up front as well with Jerry Yates suspended. Looks strong from set plays. I feel I'm going to do both teams to score and Derby losing quite a lot this season. But that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to say Derby 1, Middlesbrough 2.
Well, we're just echoing each other because I was going to do that. So, therefore, do I give Derby a point? No, I'm going to stay with my inkling. I'm going to go for Borough to get another 1-0 on the board then. I just think that feel good from back end last season, especially Latte Lath. Touched on him copious amounts of times. Really enjoyed that debut from Aidan Morris as well. Looked the part in midfield. I think Derby are going to be competitive, but maybe going to be up against it after a couple of disappointing results. 1-0 Borough.
Portsmouth v Luton. And again, we're recording on Monday after the check-in. We haven't seen Luton yet.
Yeah, my prediction there was for Luton to beat Burnley. So I will speak as if that's happened. And if ever there was a crowd that could inspire a team to victory the first time in front of them in the campaign, I think it's the Pompey supporters. For that alone, I'm going to say that Portsmouth are going to get off to a winning start.
Wow.
Luton know all about that, don't they? You're losing the Kenilworth Road fans to their advantage over the last 3, 4, however many seasons. I'm going to go for Portsmouth to win by 2-1.
That's sensational if that comes in. Beans, you've gone completely rogue on that one. I'll do the obvious and go for the favourites then and back. I didn't realise Pompey had such a hard start going Leeds away and then Luton at home. Parachute teams in their first 2 games. So look, you've covered my backside with this. I'm going to flip your score around and I will go Portsmouth 1, Leeds 2. Leeds? Then the next team, Portsmouth 1, Luton 2. And now I'm looking down at West Brom versus Leeds. All of a sudden, this is a bit hard to call, isn't it? Because Carlos Corberan's so good. He could eke a draw out. I'm not sure I see West Brom winning this. Leeds a favourite, but I think they'd only just sneak it, wouldn't they? A low scorer. West Brom 0, Leeds 1, Sam.
I'd be more than happy to flip that and take West Brom to win by 1-0. Josh Madger leads to have a little bit of a desperate start in terms of a points return. I'm by no means saying that Leeds aren't going to be up there in the automatic positions or fighting for them, but I think West Brom could nick this one. I'm going to go a little bit rogue. Second round of results this season. I'm going to go for West Brom 1, Leeds 0.
The heat has got to Sam Parkin. Let's see what he says for Bristol City versus Millwall.
Yeah, I think, my kind of thought process going into the season that it was going to be a struggle for Millwall. Still a little bit unknown what Bristol City are going to churn out in my mind. But I think they'll win here. I think this could be maybe a downbeat Neil Harris at the end of this one. Played reasonably okay against Watford on the opening day, but I'm going to go for Bristol City 2-0.
Yeah, feels like we're the Bristol City fan club here, and they were close to winning on opening day. It was a late equaliser by Hull, wasn't it? We're doing well at not doubling each other up. I wonder whether it might be another unhelpful draw here. No one's played a 1-1 yet. Let's go low scoring. Maybe Millwall will get a equaliser late on in this one, and I'll go Bristol City 1, Millwall 1. I'm finding that one hard to call. And I'm straight on to Burnley. Again, we have not seen Burnley play yet, and it's Burnley v Cardiff. And I'm going to assume that Burnley are good and that Cardiff lost at home on opening day to Sunderland. So I'm going to make Burnley red-hot favourites for this one. And I'm going to give them a bit of a handsome win, Sam. I'm not all in bonus point. Burnley 3, Cardiff 1.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I think Burnley may be the team that come down to the Championship that may take a little bit of time to find their rhythm just because the squad is huge. And who does Scott Parker pick? And what does he do with them? And who does he leave out? Really like what Sheffield United are doing transfer-wise. Luton have that continuity of manager and squad in the main. But I think Cardiff could be the early crisis club with some really eye-catching signings. But maybe it will take a little bit of time for them to find cohesion as well. I will go for Burnley 3, Cardiff 0.
Wow. And you are up, and I'm glad I'm not up first for this one. Norwich versus Blackburn. What are they both going to look like in a week's time?
I always say it stinks of Premier League years, this one, every time this fixture comes around.
Love it.
And difficult to know what you're going to get, but Blackburn look exciting, scored 4 goals, look to have moved in the market to replace the goals they're possibly losing of Sammy Smodics. So I think they're going to be pretty good fun. And I think Norwich have got threats and have got goals in the team, even without Johnny Rowe. I'm going to go for a 2-2 at Carrow Road.
Yeah. I wonder whether Norwich might have to batten down the hatches and kind of... It's difficult, isn't it? Because you go in and you want to play this type of football and it really just doesn't work in the first game. And it's... Do you just take for a couple of games playing a bit more defensively and shoring up, or do you stick with what you're doing? Because I think if they stick with what they're doing, they're probably going to lose to Blackburn, aren't they? So I wonder if they batten down the hatches. And I can't think of anywhere else to play my nil, Sam. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to say Norwich won a clean sheet in their first point, and Blackburn will happily take 4 from the first 2 games. So Norwich 0, Blackburn 0. And it is Plymouth v Hull. And do I pile in on poor old Wayne Rooney? I think I might do. Is it going to be a second straight defeat? I'm going to play for a bonus point on this one, Sam. Let's go for some all-out carnage. I'm going to go for 5 goals. I'm going to go for Plymouth to lose again. Sorry, Wazza. Plymouth 2, Hull 3. Woof.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same as you, really. I think there's just an unpredictability about Hull. I think that Argyle are going to find it tough. Nothing has changed, obviously, in my mind in that regard. But, I think they're going to be competitive. I just fancy Hull here to make it worse for Argyle before it gets better. You taking a 2-3. I will take the 1-3. 3-1 Hull.
Sheffield United versus QPR, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe people doubting Sheffield United. And I know it was mainly because there was a little bit of commotion off the pitch and a little bit of unknown. But I think the signings are really exciting. And I think we saw that at Preston North End on Friday night, and they're keeping adding, aren't they? Tyrese Campbell, potentially a new goalkeeper as well. I think there's speculation there may be another one or two. They're looking strong. And I think they'll be too strong for QPR, who need some attacking reinforcement. And I hope that comes before the end of the window. Sheffield United 2-0.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I wanted 1-0. I went up there end of the season or towards the end of the season when the Blades got promoted 21-22 and they won 1-0 against QPR. You keep telling me QPR don't have goals in them, so we think it'll only take one to beat them in that case. Now I'm going to go for Blades to be 2-2. Sheffield United 1, QPR 0. And it's Swansea versus Preston, but everything has changed this morning because Preston now don't have a manager, which adds a little element of chaos that even though Swansea were our cause for concern, I am now going to back them because of the managerial issues at Preston. So I'm going to go for another 1-0. And I'm going to go for whoever is caretaker manager. I'm assuming Preston aren't going to have a full-time manager they might, by the weekend. But I'm going to go Swansea 1, Preston 0, Sam.
Yeah, I like it. That's probably where I would have gone. Exactly. I'll go for a little bit of shackles off maybe for North End. Haven't played a 1-1. Yeah, I think that's not probably the worst outcome for either side after their opening day defeats. I'll go for Swansea 1, Preston 1.
Mouthwatering matchup on the Championship Check-In podcast was Watford versus Stoke. Both of these two teams with the opportunity to go 2-2, Sam.
Yeah, a bit of a toss of a coin. I think, Stoke have been riddled by inconsistency the last few seasons, and I think it may just continue start of this campaign. Watford with a home advantage, still got quality in their ranks. I'll go for Watford, both teams to score, 2-1 Watford.
We joked on the Check-In podcast, Sam, never get carried away with Stoke. Never fall in love with Stoke. They'll always let you down. So I'm going to double down. I'm going to go for Stoke to go 2-2 just to amuse you. Let's go for another 1-0 win for Stoke. They're going to go down to the Vic. They're going to keep another clean sheet. They're going to sneak a goal probably in the second half again and win this one 1-0 and be 6 points out of 6. Last one looks a really interesting one, doesn't it? Another two teams that could be 2-2 are Sunderland and Sheffield Wednesday. Wednesday, top of the embryonic table after the weekend's games. My brain says this could be really fun, really open, and really close. You've not played a Desmond, have you yet, Sam? So I think I'm going to... Oh, yes, you have. Norwich Blackburn. So I'm going to play my Desmond here and go for both teams to score in a thoroughly entertaining, honours even, points shared, Sunderland 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2.
Yeah, it's a bit of a toss of a coin. I think both teams could have really good seasons. I'm just going to go for the team I think are probably more better versed in what their manager wants, and that would be Sheffield Wednesday right now. Ugbo off the bench, late winner, 2-1 Sheffield Wednesday.
Tremendous detail. That is it for round 2 predictions. Get yours in via the comments and play along. Give yourself a point for an outcome, 3 for a correct scoreline. And if your scorer has got 5 goals or more, give yourself a bonus, give yourself 4 points. Let us know how you got on against me and Sam. You probably didn't struggle to beat us in round 1. Sam, are you feeling good and ready to sledge me some more at the end of this episode?
Yeah, it's probably completely unnecessary as to why I've gone so rogue today. I'm probably just giving the punters, the viewers, the Championship aficionados, ammunition to basically give me a hell of a lot of stick over the next 7 days. So go easy on me. Hopefully a few come in, but I think generally it takes a few weeks for the league table to take shape. So there's hope for you yet, mate.
Get your excuses in early. He's given me a chance, ladies and gentlemen. Get involved in the comments on round 2 Championship predictions.